Let me just go ahead and say this. I said that I was going to give a Mike Zullo update, and I do want to do that. Now, y'all have to excuse me. I'm working with one hand here because of my shoulder surgery, but I want to give this guy credit. Yeah, the newsblaze.com, a Washington, D.C. reporter for the Washington, D.C. branch of Newsblaze. Randy Foreman is the reporter. He issued a report today, and I knew this report was coming out because Mike Zullo and I spoke about this before this took place. But he issued a report. He met with Mike Zullo in Washington, D.C. For a 4-hour meeting. Mike was there in the Library of Congress, as a matter of fact, doing research on his case into the Obama birth certificate investigation. And Randy Foreman met with Mike Zullo. And Mike, in this report here, I'm not going to read the report to you, so I'm just getting to it to make sure I had the reporter correct. That's right, Randy Foreman. And but what he has revealed here is that Mike has been in and around. Well, he's been in Washington, D.C. now, his 5th trip. And he's made a lot of these trips to Washington lately. And it's revealed in this interview that a part of what he has done while he's there, he has been meeting with, and I want to use the words from this report, without reading the whole thing again. Where is it? Anyway, well, okay, here it is. He says he's been talking with Washington, D.C. officials in high places in Washington who are moving the investigation forward. That's what Randy Foreman reports in Newsblaze. That Mike Zullo says that he has been in Washington so much because he's been talking with D.C. officials in high places who are moving the investigation forward. And I can tell you, based upon what Mike Zullo has been telling me, that that is accurate. And this is why I have been telling you, and Mike Zullo has been telling you, be patient, be patient. This thing is getting bigger than it's ever been. More folks are getting involved. More evidence is coming forward. Legal hurdles are having to be jumped to make certain that when this is brought forward in conference format, that it is done correctly, that it is done powerfully. Sheriff Arpaio and Mike Zullo are only going to get one shot at this, okay? And so that's why they've been saying, be patient. Now, remember, Mike Zullo has said on several occasions, nobody wants this to come forward. Nobody wants to be vindicated in this any more than he does. You know, I mean, he and Sheriff Arpaio. And this is true. I mean, Mike's been working on this for probably 3 solid years now and taking all kinds of heat, being called all kinds of names, all kinds of spurious accusations leveled his way, ubiquitous accusations. But Mike, you know, Mike knows that he will be, I will be, you will be, all of us who have been called birthers, by the ugly folks out there, we're going to be vindicated in this. We really already are, because even if they can't have these conferences, there is so much later on that I will be able to reveal to you, to prove to you that we have been vindicated. But these conferences are still coming forward and are going to happen, according to this article written by Randy Foreman in his 4-hour interview with Mike Zullo. Now, in this article, critics and eligibility activists have been really demanding that Mike Zullo release this information before the November midterm elections. Well, let me address that. This article addresses it, and I've addressed it, but I want to address it more. By the way, the phone lines are open if you want to call. If you called a little while ago and they were jammed full, we've got people calling and dropping off and making comments, et cetera. So we've got, our phone lines are open. If you want to call in, be a part of this, 850-623-1330, 850-623-1330. You can do that. But back to this. People have been, I get emails and phone calls, and ppsimmons does, and some of those are passed along to me, demanding that Mike Zullo release his information. I was doing a radio interview on a national show not too long ago, and some caller called in and demanded that I demand and insist that Arpaio and Zullo release the information they have. Listen, folks, first of all, I am not in any position to demand that Mike Zullo do anything. He doesn't work for me. I can't demand that Joe Arpaio do anything. Mike Zullo is a dear friend of mine, but he doesn't work for me. He is a lawman working under the auspices of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. I think the 8th largest county in the United States of America. He's working for Joe Arpaio and the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. So he will do what he's going to do when he does it according to his professional forensic investigation and the legalities of the case. That's what he's going to do. And it will happen when it happens and not before. And Mike Zullo will make no apologies for that. But the bottom line is the case is still going. The investigation is still going. Arpaio and Zullo are not frantically working to release information necessarily before the November midterms. If that happens, wonderful. If that happens, then those of us that would like it to happen before the midterms, we'll all be happy. But that's not their goal. That's not their deadline. This is not political for them. They are not a political action committee. They're not politicians. They are professional lawmen doing a criminal investigation that goes all the way to the White House, folks. Okay? This is not, tabloid journalism. This is as real as it gets. This is as powerful as it gets. This is as history-changing and history-making as it gets. So it's going to be done right. The bottom line, this article confirms what I've been knowing for a while, that Zullo is in and out of Washington, D.C. He is talking to what does this article say? To D.C. officials in high places who are now moving the investigation forward. And that's correct. I could add more to that, but I'm not at liberty to, so I will not. So anyway, that's basically the latest. Let me go to the phone lines because the phone lines are jammed now. By the way, just keep calling. When you hear somebody hang up, call 850-623-1330. We're going to take Andy first because Andy has a question about the Mike Zullo investigation. Andy, thanks for listening to Freedom Friday. And what's your question, man?
Hi, Carl. I'm a first-time caller and just want to say I really enjoy your show a lot.
Well, thank you, and I'm honored that you called, man. Relax and enjoy. What's your question?
Oh, two questions. The first is you had given a Mike Zullo update, probably about a month ago, and you had said that because there are two different investigations, with Arpaio and Mike Zullo. Mm-hmm. You said at that time Arpaio was, you said, very, very close to giving his conference, and that was a month ago. I just wanted to say, what happened there? Is it still coming very, very soon? And then the other quick question.
Well, let me answer that one first, and then that'll be easier to do it that way, Andy. I'm working with one hand, so I can't write these down. Let me just deal with it as you dish them out. First of all, Andy, very fair question, very good question, and I'm sure a lot of people have that same question. Yes, and everything I report is as true as I know it to be, and if I discover that I'm wrong later, I always get it right. But the bottom line is, Sheriff Arpaio has revealed to Mike Zullo, who's revealed to me, and he has revealed publicly on several national news programs that he's involved in this criminal investigation and that this information is forthcoming. These are Arpaio's words. So when I use the word soon or forthcoming, I'm not setting dates, and neither is Arpaio. I mean, with an investigation that's been going on 3 years, let me just hypothetically say, if he brings it forth 3 months from now, that's soon. But now he didn't say 3 months from now. I'm just being hypothetical. So I'm just saying, just be patient, hang in there. Arpaio's not lying. I'm not lying. They haven't set any dates, but Arpaio has said that he is very soon going to bring forward his investigation. And Zullo's telling me the same thing concerning his investigation. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be a matter of a few months. But now, I don't know. Zullo has not told me that, so don't take that to the bank. But I'm just saying that it's going to be relatively soon.
Well, he did say, just to add something to that, he did say in that, I read that article in the News Blaze, and he did say in the coming months to that reporter that he spoke.
Well, there you go. There you go.
There you go. The other question is, you kind of qualified your statement a couple minutes ago, and you said, in the event that they wouldn't be able to have the conferences, what could happen? Because it surely sounds like this is getting ready to happen at some point in the near future. What could happen to where they wouldn't have the confidence.
Okay. Andy, man, you are a tremendous listener, and these are great questions. Thank you. You're parsing every word I say, and that's great. I appreciate it. No, listen, Andy, and I've said that before. I've been saying that for years, because here's the deal. When you're dealing with something this huge and at this level, I mean, anything could happen. Anything could happen. And I don't want to go into, the worst case scenarios, but I mean, so you've got to take it. That's why I always kind of qualify by saying, it looks as though, from everything I'm hearing from Arpaio and Zullo, 99% all this is going to happen. But you always leave room for that 1% that it might not. So I don't want people thinking I lied to them all these years. But if it doesn't happen, then there's a lot that I can reveal, a lot that I can say. And if it doesn't happen, then I will do that. But I don't think I'm going to have to do that. I mean, it looks to me as though it's all going to happen, Andy. But that's the only reason I qualify it, just trying to be as fair and honest as I can be.
And I appreciate you being forthright. I hope for the, I think you hear a lot of people talking politically speaking. They're hoping that if we get a change in Congress, it'll be great if we get. But I think our problems are so systemic that I think everything that's been going on has to be exposed if we will ever to get back on track. That's why
I agree. Andy, here's what we're going to do. We've got to take a time out, but I want you to stay listening, okay? Because Mike Zullo is just calling in on the VIP line, and we're going to put him on. He may answer some of your questions directly, okay, Andy?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. God bless you. So, folks, we are going to take a quick time out. So when we... All right, welcome back, Gulf Coast. Welcome back, America. And I think we're bothering a lot of people today. Andy, again, I appreciate your call. And there were other callers on the line, too. Most of you guys have hung up because I know you just want to hear Mike Zullo, and we're almost at the top of the hour and almost out of here. But Mike Zullo is on the line. And, Mike, welcome to Freedom Friday.
Carl, brother, how's the shoulder?
It's a little tough. I was a little mad at you because a couple of weeks into my surgery, you wouldn't even call me because you said something about I was on all those narcotics and you didn't trust me. What was that about?
Well, would have been like talking to a crackhead. I couldn't call you.
I know, it was terrible. Mike tried to call me, and I was like, oh, "Who's this?"
It was awful.
Look at the pretty stars. Look how my fingers are waving through the air. Well, that's some terrible stuff. This is some nasty surgery, man. But I'm telling you, I'm glad I was able to get off the narco stuff. And but anyway, hey, if I say something stupid today, though, I'm on medication, but it's not narcotics. So if I say something stupid today, it's just on me, brother. It's just me. I can't blame it on the drugs.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay. Well, listen, we've only got a few moments, and I know people are excited that you called. And so you did do this interview with Newsblaze and Randy Foreman. And so let me just ask you, so you've been in D.C., and you revealed to them you've been there 5 times. So kind of, tell us as much as you can about what's going on in D.C. What are you doing there? How many more trips are you going to...
Carl, I apologize. I have to be as cryptic as I can.
I know.
Randy actually was helping me at my request do some things, and we're not going to discuss what those are.
Sure.
So he had met me out here, and we spent about 4 hours together doing a little research. But, even Randy doesn't know to the extent of what we're doing. He doesn't really know much.
Right.
But that's by design. Not that I don't trust him. It's just by design.
No, it has to be.
But it's, it is moving forward. My traveling schedule is hectic. I've been in D.C. more times than I care to be.
Right.
And probably have a lot more time, over here. But it is moving forward. And there are people involved now, as they were earlier, but even more so. And a lot of things are predicated on schedules, and that's why it's taking so long.
Right. I understand. Scheduling and legalities, which you and I have talked about before. And when you start dealing with high-ranking officials in and around Washington, D.C., who are actually getting it, they get it. They've seen what you have. They understand. They're moving it forward. Well, now you have to work with legalities and schedules, and both of those are very difficult to bring together sometimes, aren't they?
Well, and the legalities actually hamper the scheduling.
Yeah.
Because there's research that needs to be done. I apologize to your audience. I cannot disclose what we're working on, but I am going to tell you, as painful as this wait has been, it's going to be well worth it.
Yeah, I know.
And well worth it. That's the good side. What we're going to disclose is going to be gut-wrenching.
Yeah. I know. That's what we've been telling folks. So basically, hey, we've got a couple of minutes. I mean, what do you want the nation to? I mean, you literally have millions of people that hang on every word you say because truly, you and Sheriff Arpaio are really the only ones. And I mean, and you guys have done a jam-up job, but I mean, you're the only ones that are giving any promise that you've got a deep forensic investigation going, and you're going to bring the information forward. I mean, Congress should have been doing this, and they're not. Federal law enforcement should have been doing it, and they're not. The courts should have been doing it, and they're not. But you guys are, so they hang on every word. So what words would you give the nation right now?
What I can tell you as far as the forensic investigation on the birth certificate is concerned, we are using technologies that the general public would have no idea even exist.
Right.
And we've made some startling discoveries on that front. As far as the criminal side of it, it is extremely intense. It is in an area that we never thought it was going to go when we started way back in March.
Right.
You and I had that discussion. I thought this was going to be over.
Right.
But it just went in a direction, and it kind of has a life of its own.
Right.
And we have to pursue it. We have a legal obligation to pursue it.
Right.
We have a legal obligation to bring it forward, but that can only be done under the right time and the right circumstance.
Right.
All I can ask, your listeners for is just patience. Nobody is gaming this. Nobody's doing this for political motivation. I was accused recently of doing this for fame and fortune.
Right.
You got to be kidding me. I'm not paid.
Right.
There's no fame and there's no fortune.
Right. Right. You're infamous and you're broke.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you listen to half the stuff out there, I should be in prison.
Right.
I know. But you know what? It's our country. We deserve the truth.
Yes.
And I think what I would really love everybody to do, please look up the definition to the word patriot and understand what a patriot really is. Because when you take that word and you hold that definition up there and you see what's running around out there from both political parties, we're kind of lacking some patriots.
We really, really are. So listen, when this comes out, you're saying, as I've been saying, that a lot of people are going to be vindicated when all this comes out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, and again, you guys you're not setting a release date before the November elections. I mean, that might happen, but that's not what your goal is.
No, Carl, I can tell you right now that that's not going to happen. There are things we're doing now and in stages of this that's just an impossibility. And we were never geared towards that anyway.
Right.
I mean, it's when it's ready, it's going to happen. And we still are investigating. There's other things that we have to do here.
Right.
But I need your listeners to understand that it is extremely complex.
Yes.
And it is not something that you get done in 20 minutes, on television.
That's right.